It's time to start reviewing some of these rooms now that I'm back in town. One thing, though, to think about, the Oklahoma Sooners secondary, as we look at it today, could probably use a little bit of help. But I'm going to be honest. The young talent that they've acquired might lead it to one of the best ones in the country. Let's talk about that. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. All of our film reviews and room reviews are powered by our partners over there at BetUS. Check them out. They're going to hook you up here in March. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. We are in March Madness season, and it's time to start taking that early look at spring practice rosters and rooms. We're going to do the room review now, right before spring Crimson Combine, and then we're going to dive more into it into the summer, especially after the spring portal. But I want to start secondary and work our way all the way into the quarterback. So we'll do one on each room and give you my initial thoughts. Hop in the comments. I want to hear from you all and what you guys feel about each. So first and foremost, the Oklahoma Sooners secondary, especially the DB room, it's pretty young, like young. Majority of the players are freshmen, redshirt freshmen or sophomores. Once again, this room basically replaced what the offensive line was and wide receiver room was last year. You've got nothing but young players that are available. And right now in practice, it sounds like that's all you're seeing is the young guys. And so they're cutting their teeth in SEC ball right now, because right now Eli Bowen is down with a sprained ankle. Gentry Williams still has his shoulder, but he is in full pads, so he is running through drills and doing everything, but they don't want him hitting because of, the shoulder. You don't want him to fall on it and get hurt. And so your two main guys aren't there. And in Jeremiah Newcomb, I saw Parker Thune post that Newcomb was also limited in practice right now. So you got three guys who, brings most of your experience there. And then, of course, Kendall Doby won't be ready until most likely this summer, but he is starting to train and move around on that ankle. So that's four key players that the Sooners will need to have in that DB room for this coming season, but it's okay. Because I think that the youth that Oklahoma has acquired will probably step up and step out. I want to look at each individual one. There's 4 DBs that really have got your boys' attention. I'm going to pop them up on the screen, and we're going to dive into that. But first, shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000. 125% bonus on your second and thirds by using promo code YouTube150. And right now, we are in March Madness, y'all. And we know that the tournament's coming up in the next few days. So if you want to get in on the action on who's going to win the championship, they've got all of that for you. If you want to, throw a little something on the Sooners, making it and hopefully winning, please. It's right there available for you. And they've got gambler's insurance, so they're going to cut you back 10% of your net losses twice a year to keep you in the game. So jump on in the action. BetUS. They're going to hook you up. 150% bonus on your first deposit of $2,000 and 125% bonus on your second and third deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. BetUS, where the game begins. Let's take a look at this DB room. So I kind of, threw a little color coding on here for the corners and, who we have. And there's 4 players I wanted to make mention of for you guys to keep your eyes on that I think will make a massive jump as far as, young DBs. First off, Jacoby Johnson. I think, let me point this out first. There's 5 corners on this team that's at least 6 feet tall, 7 that's at least 5'11", which to me is a pretty big indication that you need here in the SEC. Seems like you're running into a lot of massive wide receivers, right? Like big dudes. So you've got a bunch of guys here that are big in size. And that's kind of a key component of being successful here in the SEC. You want to have some big corners that can be physical and fast. But some of the players that I'm looking for to break out is going to be Devon Jordan here. 5'11", 177. He can put on a little bit more meat and potatoes. Probably need to start eating more Uncrustables after his meal. We'll get him to that size. But at his, sophomore, he's also a track guy. So you've got speed that you're going to be able to get out of him when he's out there, defending. I think Jocelyn Malaska at 6'1", 190, is going to be an elite zone corner. I'm not sure about his speed, but I think he's going to be an elite zone corner. And especially at his height and jumping ability, he's going to be able to cause some problems for opposing defenses to try to keep up. Jacoby Johnson just needs to get his feet together, man. Last year, you saw him do some solid defensive work, and then other times you saw him fall. And it's like, what are we doing, my boy? We need you to be on your feet, especially in the Missouri game. That really hurt. But I think that Jacoby can be something special. He's learning to play DB, kind of similar to Jared Koenig, but I think he's a step higher than what Koenig was when he was trying to learn linebacker. He's got the size, 6'2", 205. All he's got to do is put it all together. And then you come in here, lastly, I think when you start looking at younger players, but before we get to the young players, Gentry Williams is going to have to come in here and be that guy. And I think he can. I mean, you put him and Eli Bowen together as your main rotations at corner, you've got something pretty nasty, because Gentry was showing it in 2023 when he was healthy. Till he, dinged up the shoulder, had to have surgery, and then hurt it again at the beginning of this year. Gentry was on pace to be probably an All-American DB. Now, the good thing is, knock on wood, it's not good, but it's good. His injury is his shoulder. So, as long as they get that shoulder, he's had just about a year to rest it. If that shoulder is right, he'll still have his speed and movement ability. Hips, I know he's been working hard. That's all I've heard, is that he's continued to work in the offseason. I think Gentry's going to be that dude. Gentry has a really good chance of being that dude, and he's going to be a problem for opposing defenses. And then you bring the young guys. And I think this is what gets me the most excited about this room. I told you, majority of the room are freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and sophomores. Like, we got a lot of young guys. Now, we got a lot of dudes on the team that, that we had, filling rosters. You had Peter Scholl, which heard he's a pretty strong dude. Kaysen Kalmus, Rocky Kalmus' son. Preston Mickens, young player, South Lake, Texas, Carroll High School, players you go ahead and snatch up. But the 3 DBs we brought in this year, I got to give it to Jay Valai. He brought us some dogs. Cortland Guillory, Malik Hawkins, as well as Tristan Haynes. Now, Haynes is the one I think is going to probably break out the most. I think Cortland's going to be your hardest worker, and I think that Malik has the most talent. And all he's got to do is show it. And I like Malik because, he's going to play like his pops did, right? Michael Hawkins Sr., you got, his brother, Michael Hawkins Jr. playing at quarterback. But Malik, watching his tape down there at Emerson, he's balling. He's balling DB. Tristan was coveted by a lot of schools. And I'm keeping it a buck. I'm surprised he didn't end up at Georgia. That's where I thought Tristan was going to end up. Tristan going to be good. He's got the speed. I think he's one of the faster DBs on the team, even with Devon Jordan being a track kid. Tristan's one of the faster kids on the team, and he's got the height. All he's got to do is put on the size, and he'll do that. Like, as he started to adjust, it's funny, I ran into his dad at the barbershop recently. He told me him and Moms enjoys the content, so we appreciate y'all always pulling up. Make sure y'all hop in the comments and let us know y'all saw this one. But he's enjoying himself at Oklahoma. He's learning a lot, and he's happy, which I figured he, leaving the state, my son goes to Midwest City, so Carl Albert, so I totally, figured he would want to, bounce out. That was the rumors around the school, but it's good to see him stay in state, and I think he's going to be good. And Cortland Guillory got that dog, man. He feels overlooked. He feels overshadowed coming out of Houston. I think Guillory's going to be somebody that's going to be a challenge for opposing offenses to try to get around. I think he's going to be very physical at the line. And, all he's got to do is put on a little bit more meat and potatoes too. You get these guys up there in the 190 range, maintain speed. Yeah. There's no worries I have about this secondary now. Like, I was a little concerned last year. Like I said, it was super young and you didn't know what you had. But then you got to see Eli Bowen show out. When Jeremiah Newcomb got some game, he started to look a little solid. Like, okay. And then you picked up Josie Malaska, from Utah. So you got another big size corner that all you got to do is get him really going. I believe that this room is probably going to be one of the bigger shockers for this team this year. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. I definitely want to hear y'all's thoughts. Shout out to our partners. sponsoring a video bet US. They'll be sponsoring us for the next few months. They're hooking y'all up. 150% bonus on the first deposit of $2,000 by using promo code YouTube150. Make sure you go and show them some love and thanking them for supporting the hustle and the grind. We'll have the next position up this weekend. We're going to talk about the safeties and the cheetahs. We're going to put them all together. That secondary is going to be fun, especially the leadership of one player, Robert Spears Jennings. We'll dive into that in the next video, and stick around for it. We'll talk soon. Peace.